Okay, guys, and welcome to the fourth video of Crypto Trader Club. And today we're going to be talking about how we could have caught plays last week when there was a big market crash and altcoins dropped by 20 to 30%, and would it have been best to use leverage or to enter on spot, and how we could actually find them and how we could have entered them. So yeah, just make sure you like, subscribe, and share away. So hopefully this video helps. Now, if you would have been looking last week, and this is just looking at purely technical analysis. Now, let's say, for example, we have got this order block here. Now, this order block's a pretty strong order block. It's on a daily level. Now, bear in mind that, the higher the time frame, the stronger the order block's going to be. So a weekly order block is going to be, and basically the order block's just going to be your last down closed or series of down closed candles before the up move. So this one here, you can see it's a last down closed candle before we get this big up move. Okay. Now, with this one here, so this on a daily time frame, so we know that this order block is going to be strong. We know there's going to be significant orders being placed down in that level. Now, when the market crashed on last Wednesday, it moved so quick. The market crashed by on C here, it crashed SEI, whatever it's called, by 28%. Now, on leverage, and I tried to enter it. It was physically impossible to get my orders filled in time. You couldn't enter, and if you did enter, you'd entered really, really high upon this wick, and your risk to reward would have been screwed. It would have been a very, very scary moment to be in that play. It was very, very difficult to catch. So what was the better thing to do? Now, you could have said, well, it's a significant level. This is a strong level. I expect price to hold it. Great. If you were entering on leverage, let's say, for example, you entered at the top of this order block, and you set your stop loss just below. Well, if you set your stop loss 3%, you'd have got stopped out. Let's say you entered the middle of the order block, once again, got stopped out. Let's say you entered at the bottom of the order block, once again, stopped out. Every way that you would have entered on leverage, on 20x leverage with a 3% stop loss, you would have got stopped out in this position. Or if you hadn't, and for some reason you hadn't got liquidated, you would have been in a severe drawdown, you'd have panicked, you'd have exited a bad position if you haven't got a stop loss. And yes, the play would have worked out eventually, but it would have been a really, really scary place to be in. So it's very, very when the market moves so fast and so quick like this, it's very, very difficult to actually enter on leverage. The one possibility that you could do is enter low leverage, and you can build into a play and build into a position, especially if you think the market's going to carry on going higher. But the best thing for me and what I think to do and how to use daily order blocks is to enter for spot plays. So let's say, for example, we had a bid here at the top at 597. We had a bid at 578 and a bid at 055. We had 3 bids. All our orders are filled, and we could have rid that up then as an average from 57. We could have bridged that up for 50%. 50% within like 12 hours, which would have been crazy. So that was a very, very good spot play. So essentially, if you put 10K into that position, your account's now at 15K. Very, very easy position. I didn't catch this on C. I did catch it on Inge, and I'll go through that in a minute. But this is just how I would use, how I would enter spot plays. So especially if you've got like a daily order block, or you've got like a daily resistance and daily support, these are plays where you can either enter or exit the market. It'd be very, very difficult to enter on leverage, and I wouldn't recommend just blindly entering there. What you can do is wait for a market structure shift or wait back down for a retest, and that is essentially where we can get in. Now, let's just give you another example. I'll go for a few coins, see if we can find some. So we've got Inge. So, so I had this drawn out on Inge. This is a daily support for Inge, this yellow line. And this is why it's so important to have your higher time frame levels drawn out. And we've also got this order block here. So once again, we had double confluence, we had an order block, and we also had a daily level. So once again, spot plays, I was fine. I had 2 bids. I had a bid there and a bid there. So my average was slightly above that. It was about here, about 29.95, so just below 30. And I didn't have a stop loss on this because it was a spot play, and I put the stop in after the plays move, just because it can be quite wicky in crypto. It's just from experience that I do that. But once again, if you was on leverage here, on 20x leverage, you would have got stopped out. But because I was in spot, I've actually exited this now. It was about a 30% move. I think I got out at 20%. So this was an easy play, to enter on Inge that you could have took straight away, just using daily levels, using the daily order block, and it's much better to enter on a spot play than what it would be to enter on a leverage play. I wouldn't recommend blindly entering, because you're going to get stopped a lot. Sometimes you're going to get slipped. You take some big losses that way as well. So let's look at a few more. I've got no idea what these are like. So we'll look at BNB and Doge, see if we can find anything. Oh, I didn't draw this one out. So yeah, so BNB here, why would this been a good play to take? So we've also got this, we've got this former resistance level here, and we've also got these wicks, and then it's flipped this and used it as support at this level now. So that's great. And we've also got these series of down close candles. So this makes it a significant daily order block. And once again, sorry if you can hear my French bulldog snorting, this would have been a great level to enter and ride up for another 15%. Pretty easy play. I think there was also Doge and Wild. I've drawn this out for one of my mentees the other day. So on here, we've got a series of down close candles. It's a pretty big range, so I would just draw this one out here if I was entering on spot. And once again, it come and filled it nicely. If we had two orders from the middle, you could have rid this one up for I think about 10%. 10-11%. Pretty easy play. Wild daily order block here, so it's the last down close candle before the up move. We had orders set in here. Let's say we had two bids, average in the middle, rid it up, 20% play. So essentially, if you've got 10 grand on that play, you're exiting at 12k. And when you're in spot position compared to leverage as well, it's a lot easier psychologically to stay in a play and not to panic and not to exit the play earlier. Once you start seeing your P&L fluctuating quite a lot on a high leverage, you would have pulled out quite a lot earlier, and you'd have been in drawdown, and psychologically that would have affected you. The only other thing, like I say, you could have done is you could have entered on low leverage, but purely I just use daily order blocks for spot plays. I also use daily support for spot plays as well. I'll also use those levels to get in leverage plays, but I want to see a market structure shift or a retest or before I enter up down leverage. But the market moved so quick the other day, like on altcoins, they dropped 30%. There's no way that you would have got filled on leverage. If I tried to get filled, like I say, on C, but the market was already moving too quick. If we go down to the 5 minute, when this crash actually happened, we'll go down to 15. Let's go back. Oh, no. Okay. Where are we? Where we're looking? I think it's here. Yeah, so this is any other option that I did. So this, that I was looking at, but I didn't take. So on here, on C, if it was on leverage, you've seen this drop 25% in a minute. And if we did enter, you would have got filled up and around this region. It would have been extremely hard. The only other play that you could have entered was a stop loss. We're entering there and a stop loss just below that wick and hope that it doesn't come back down a retest. And that play would have worked, but it's a lot riskier on leverage. So I would highly recommend just using daily order blocks for spot plays. And yeah, hope that video helps, and speak to you soon.